Nancy Pelosi already fighting about who will benefit from the GOP tax plan before we even find out what's in it. And we're back now with the panel. Well, Michael, Republicans on the House Ways and Means Committee will unveil their plan on Wednesday. They've been very secretive about it, but we have heard some elements of it. And we've also heard this extraordinary timetable they're laying out. They want to pass it through the House and through the Senate, maybe different versions, by Thanksgiving. What do you make of all that?
Well, I think as quick as possible is good. I mean, look, I don't think this has been a secret process. We had kind of an outline come out. We've had much more detail go on. We all know the basic broad strokes of it. I think Chairman Brady, the chairman of Ways and Means Committee, has done an incredible job putting this together.
Do you like what you hear about the plan?
I do. I think it's a good plan that's put forward that unleashes the type of growth. Here's what's going to now happen. Every single corrupt force of the status quo in Washington, D.C., the National Realtor Association, the home builders, the representatives of high-tax states, are going to all come in and try to pick apart this plan and protect their little carve-out. And so I think momentum and speed is something that unfortunately you need at this stage to get this plan, which has been talked about in the types of broad strokes that the vast majority of Americans need to know and want to know before all of the National Realtor Association is just making totally kind of arguments about themselves and what's good for themselves. This is a tax cut that will be good for people who don't itemize, for people who do itemize. This is a great plan for the country, and we need to get it done before the forces of the status quo and the special interests tear it apart.
Mo, from what we know, is it a great plan? And the economy, we just found out, grew by 3% for the second quarter in a row. It won't, if they get the tax plan and this continued growth, won't Republicans in 2018 be able to go to the country with a strong economy?
They're banking on it. They're banking on being able to go with this because so far they don't have a very good track record of getting anything done. And so they know that if they don't get this done, they're in very serious trouble with voters. Now, whether or not it's a good plan, we're going to have to see how it plays out. So far, the things I hear, it doesn't sound very good. And, you know, Michael, just to toss back out the hypocrisy charge you threw earlier, the fact that Republicans are now okay with a blueprint that is going to blow a $2.4 trillion hole in the deficit when people who were...
I've been asked, that's not, I mean, if you're going to accuse me of hypocrisy, we have a spending problem in this country. The tax code should bring in the amount of revenue necessary to fund the constitutionally appropriate parts of government.
But in fairness, the Republicans haven't called for those $2 trillion in spending cuts.
Republicans are completely gutless when it comes to spending cuts. Nobody would deny that, but that's not hypocrisy on the part of anybody in this panel. We should have a tax code that makes sense.
I'm saying the Republican Party, which has been fighting to rein in the deficit, seems to be okay now, right? I'm not saying anyone on this panel.
The party should be fighting to rein in spending.